Welcome back to the program. So we're going to just do probably two segments tonight. First segment is I have to say I am extremely impressed with the political savvy of Speaker Johnson. Now anybody would know that I am not a fan of Speaker Johnson. I've called him Big Johnson for the longest time because I don't think he's very conservative, nor do I think he's doing enough to pass the agenda of President Trump and the America First policies. However, he is politically savvy. Now, why is he politically savvy? It's very simple. What he just did was brilliant. He came out and introduced a resolution to remember Charlie Kirk. And I want to read you some of what it is, and then I'm going to explain why this was absolutely brilliant. So it was called House Resolution 719, honoring the life and legacy of Charles Charlie James Kirk. It was introduced by House Speaker Mike Johnson on September 16th and co-sponsored by 165 other House Republicans. No Democrats co-sponsored the legislation. Now, all it really truly does is it's just a symbolic thing that basically says that we don't agree with violence. We agree that Charlie was an incredibly gifted speaker, a great conservative, someone that was a man of faith, a great father, a great husband, just all of the wonderful things that we know about Charlie. And so it says, Charlie Kirk was a dedicated husband to his beloved wife, Erica Kirk, and a loving father to their daughter and son, exemplifying the virtues of faith, fidelity, and fatherhood. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a fierce defender of the American founding principles and values and its timeless dedication to life, liberty, limited government, and individual responsibility. Charlie Kirk, at 18 years old, founded Turning Point USA in 2012, a student movement with the mission to, quote, identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of fiscal responsibility, free markets, and limited government. Charlie Kirk became one of the most prominent voices in America, engaging in respectful civil discourse across college campuses, media platforms, and national forums, always seeking to elevate truth, foster understanding, and strengthen the republic. Charlie Kirk personified the values of the First Amendment, exercising his God-given right to speak freely, challenging prevailing narratives, and he did so with integrity, with honor, with courage, and respect for his fellow Americans. Charlie Kirk's commitment to civil discussion and debate stood as a model for young Americans across the political spectrum, and he worked tirelessly to promote unity without compromising on his convictions. It talks about the assassination, and it says the rise in targeted violence against individuals for their political beliefs undermines the very fabric of our constitutional republic and chills the free exchange of ideas essential to a healthy civic society. Leaders at every level of government, education, media, and beyond must stand united in an unequivocal condemnation of political violence, regardless of their ideology. The tragic loss of Charlie Kirk must not be allowed to deepen the divides in our nation, but instead serve as a turning point to recommit ourselves to better angels and to the timeless American principles of liberty, governed by truth and the virtues of peace, dialogue, and civility. Charlie Kirk would not have us respond to his death with despair, but rather with renewed purpose, to speak truth and courage, to stand firm in faith, to seek unity while standing firm in principle, and to serve as a living reminder of the values that he championed: faith, family, and freedom. And then, of course, it condemns the strongest possible ways the assassination of Charlie Kirk and all forms of political violence. And it goes on a little bit longer, but you kind of get the idea. Now, 58 Democrats voted against this. Okay? 58 of them. There was another 38 that did a trick. Okay? And it is a trick because when someone doesn't want to do a vote on a very unpopular vote for their constituents, for the people that they need to get elected, they do what? Present, right? So they basically don't vote for all intents and purposes. So if you take those 38 and you put them on top of the other 58, you've got 96 Democrats that refuse to sign a resolution for no political violence and to commemorate the memory of Charlie Kirk. That is who the left is, okay? That is exactly who the left is. Now, I'm going to name a couple of the names. Obviously, there's a lot of them, but just the ones that we know of here, right? So, of course, we have Carson. We have James Clyburn voted against it. Who else is in here? Escobar, you might have known that name. Maxwell Frost, who I believe is a member of Antifa. Garcia in Texas. Al Green with his cane, right? Who else? Jackson in Illinois. Jayapal in Washington State. And then, let's see, a couple more that we would know here. Ocasio-Cortez, of course. Ilhan Omar, of course. Who else? Let's see. Velasquez, Maxine Waters, of course. And then the ones that did present, these are the ones that wouldn't even put their name to this resolution. And let's see, you have on this one, let's see, I'm trying to find Frankel, Louis Frankel, she's an idiot. You've got Goldman in New York, who I absolutely detest. I can't stand that guy. You have Kennedy, Patrick Kennedy in New York. You have Ro Khanna voted against it, of course. And then you have, let's see, a couple of others here. You have Tonko, you have Vasquez, and you have Walkinshaw. So basically and Tlaib, of course, but you have your most radical members that were voting against it. Now, why is this brilliant? It's very brilliant for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you vote against it, you're done, right? Because now all the attack ads, anyone that's running against those 58 are going to be able to say in their attack ads that this member of Congress voted against a resolution to denounce political violence. Think about it. Think about it from a strategic standpoint. These people that are going to run against these Democrats, the ads that they'll be able to run and their campaigns, all they have to do is say, you voted against denouncing political violence, and make sure that that goes out everywhere. Now, on the flip side, if they voted for this resolution, which again, there was quite a few that did, well, guess what? Now they've alienated their far left radical extreme base of supporters, right? So they don't win either way. This was, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant moves that Speaker Johnson has ever made, quite frankly. Because it's a win-win-win no matter what. Vote against it, you lose. Vote for it, you lose with your base. And the bottom line, and I don't want to bring, politics into it, but in order for us to save this country, we've got to win in politics. And that means we have to be able to make sure that voters absolutely detest Democrats. They need to think of Democrats as the cancer that has metastasized and is killing and eating this country alive. That's the mentality that we have to go into these midterms with. And yes, we are going to make sure that every single voter in this country knows all about how Democrats have embraced violence. All the Democrats that fought against ICE, that fought against cleaning up these cities, that wanted the crime, that supported Kill More Burritos Garcia. And yes, of course, the ones that celebrated and or refused to denounce violence and political assassination of an incredibly gifted conservative commentator and leader in Charlie Kirk. We will win on all of those principles and values, and we will make sure that the American people know the difference between the two parties, and hopefully by that time the economy will be rocking and rolling. We'll have more and more money coming in. People will be doing better. They'll be making more money. Mortgage rates will go down. Hopefully some of these people will be perp walked and indicted and prosecuted, and we will be able to win these midterms. But it is still going to be a battle. And that battle is because these radical extreme leftists are going to do whatever they can to figure out a way to steal the midterms. And it is going to be up to President Trump, his administration, the Department of Justice, and all of these leaders in the Republican Party. And hopefully Turning Point will have its leadership back in place and out on the college campuses, and Turning Point Action and working on doing everything with Scott Pressler and early vote action and making sure the ground game is all there. This is extremely important. These people have been beaten. They have been defeated. They have been marginalized, thankfully, and they are angry and they are pissed off and they want revenge and retribution. It is up to every single one of us to make sure that they don't get it. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to the program. So there's more information coming out about this absolute sicko, Tyler Robinson, and his furry fetishes. And quite frankly, maybe they'll be looking at another additional charge, perhaps, of maybe even child pornography. Listen to this. So apparently this Robinson character was big, as these young Gen Z kids are, into the gaming community. This is something that most of us have no idea about. Maybe you have grandkids. If you have your kids and you're watching this show, they're going to have kids and they would be into it. Not those kids, right? Because those kids are going to be probably around my age. But regardless of that, these kids are into this online virtual reality fantasy garbage. And it's terrifying because they don't go out and play. My mother would tell me, Josh, come home when the street lights come on. That's when you know to come home. We'd come home, we'd eat, take a shower, get ready for bed, go to school the next day. These kids don't do that. They wouldn't know how to play outside. Hell, some of them, I bet you 25% of these young kids don't even know how to ride a bicycle. Seriously. They don't even know how. They can barely speak. They just sit on their phones, they sit on their video games, and they veg out. And they get indoctrinated by other kids that are the same way, the same feelings, the same ideology. And it's sick. So here's what it says. Robinson, of course, we know who this sick idiot is, went by an alias online when he was playing a game called Minecraft. He was known as Crafton. And there's video of him, and it's really just audio, so there's no reason to play it, but it's like a big deal. Oh, we get to hear his voice. I don't care. I don't want to hear his voice. But anyway, so Robinson's stream account reveals that he downloaded and played, quote, Furry Shades of Gay. I'm assuming a play on 50 Shades of Grey, right? Which is a pornographic video game marketed mainly to children, by the way, that celebrates, quote, hot gay sex and slapstick humor. He played this game so long that it unlocked an uncommon sticker rewarding him with a cat-human maid character. This is just weird stuff. Under the handle Crafton247, Robinson reportedly maintained a presence on Fur Affinity, a platform notorious for so-called furries and their artwork, much of which is hypersexualized and, of course, pointed towards children. His depravity and his activity included watching material from disgraced furry porn artist Red Rusker, again, no idea, who admitted to producing child-themed pornography, including depictions of drugged cartoon characters that were labeled as 8-year-old boys and girls. Robinson's online profile included a fixation on the furry subculture and the meme culture as well. Among the most eyebrow-raising inscriptions, of course, on the bullet casings were from the meme culture, and they read, "If you read this, you are gay," LMAO, or OWO. And these were some of the phrases. These are gamer phrases, furry phrases, trans weirdo stuff, and meme subculture. Prosecutors said that Robinson, of course, engraved lyrics from Bella Ciao, a song with radical left Antifa associations, on the weapons and cartridges. Let's see. And then it just goes into just some more weird stuff, talking about his confession, of course. Before his confession, there were screenshots available that he said, quote, "Hey guys," and this was to about 30 people in this conversation. "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs," end quote. Before his confession, someone in the group posted about Kirk's shooting. Another user responded to the news saying, quote, "I just saw the video. Holy shit. Bro didn't deserve to go out like that." Robinson also reportedly made flippant jokes in his Discord chats with 20 other individual users in which and when he was on the run, though it's unclear at this point if it was the exact same chat group. He's reported to have quipped to friends that it wasn't him that did it, that it was his doppelganger that was responsible for the shooting. Then it says, despite this, there's been 7 posts uncovered from social media users who appear to have had advanced knowledge, which is why I said that a lot of people are involved in this. A lot of people didn't say anything about it. And if you kept quiet and you knew about it and we find out about it, you're accessory to murder. And you're looking at probably 5 years in jail for that alone, or you should. And hopefully the Department of Justice and the FBI goes and charges all these people that could have stopped this, that knew about this. It's unbelievable. And then it just says, another ex-user, "We effing did it," of course. And then one of the things that he talked about was the fact that he did it, quote, "for the community," and he did it for, quote, "my love," meaning his furry, freaky friend or whatever it was. So, look, there's a lot more here. That's the reality. There's a lot more here. They are going through it all. They're going to find who these people are. I hope they charge a lot of these people that put these hints all over social media, knew it was going to happen, didn't do anything about it. These people need to be held accountable. Accessory to murder charges. That's what needs to happen. So before I get going, as you all know, I will be attending the funeral, which is going to be absolutely horrific and sad. And I am hearing now that they are tracking, the federal agents are tracking several threats of unknown credibility from violent extremists online that have been talking about doing something at his funeral, which, again, I will be at. He is apparently going to have, quote, Super Bowl level security. Federal authorities have designated the upcoming funeral for Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, as a special event on par with a Super Bowl. assessment rating level of 1, which is the highest security classification typically reserved for major national events such as the big game. The decision comes in response to reports of several threats of, quote, unknown credibility against the memorial itself and officials who are attending. President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Erica Kirk are all scheduled to speak. A memo obtained by ABC News warns of, quote, lone offenders, domestic extremists, and possibly even foreign terrorist organizations. Quote, violent extremists and unaffiliated lone offenders may view the memorial service or related events as an attractive attack target due to the attendance of these individuals. Other senior U.S. government officials, state and local government officials, and political activists are due to major international media attention. The memo issued by agencies including the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the Secret Service, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. William Mack, the Secret Service special agent in charge of the Phoenix Field Office, told ABC that, quote, the Secret Service has been designated as the federal coordinator for the funeral. Oh, great. That should make me feel absolutely warm and fuzzy inside. You know, the same Secret Service that practically allowed President Trump to be killed not once but twice. Oh, I should feel warm and fuzzy about this. Well, one thing I did find out, thank God, is they're closing the roof. Now, this is Arizona Cardinals Stadium. I've been to games in the past. It's a huge, huge place. And they have a retractable roof. So, like, sometimes you can have the roof open. Sometimes you can have it closed. Thank God the roof is going to be closed. So we don't have to worry about some type of attack from an aerial thing. And the security is going to be really, really tight. I am going to be leaving my house at like probably 5 a.m. It starts at 11, okay? The doors open at 8. So it's going to be crazy. But you know what? I fear not. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Antifa. I'm not afraid of BLM. I'm not afraid of these trans-testicle scumbag weirdos. I will continue to do everything I can to fight against all of you and take you all down. And I'm going to go there, and I am going to pay my respects. And that's it. And you know what? It's not just me. There's going to be a lot of people there. Yes, we'll take precautions. Yes, there's going to be people, and there's going to be snipers all around the building, and there's going to be a lot of people. I don't really foresee there being the type of violence that they're thinking of. This is going to be security that is going to mirror a national championship game or the Super Bowl or something like that. So I'm going to pray that everything goes smooth and is successful and there's no violence, but it's not going to deter me, okay? And it does seat close to around 100,000 people. So this is going to be quite the event, but I wouldn't miss it for anything. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be sad. I don't know. It's almost surreal, like it doesn't even feel real still that he's not there. And I don't know. Just my thoughts and prayers still go out to him, go out to his family, his children. And I just hope that Turning Point can find a viable replacement that can not only spread conservative values to these youngsters and these Gen Zers on college campuses, but more importantly, do it from a biblical perspective. Someone that will wear their faith on their sleeve, as Charlie did. Because as I said before, Charlie was unique in one way. Yeah, there's other people that go on college campuses and speak, right? Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Glenn Beck, whoever. It doesn't matter. But what Charlie did was unique. Because Charlie wasn't necessarily pushing conservative values. Charlie understood and was wise, so beyond his years, that he understood that this younger generation is moving away from God. They are becoming atheistic, agnostic. They are having these horrible influences from the devil and everything else. And he knew that if he could debate these students, not necessarily with conservative comebacks, but more importantly, from a biblical perspective. In other words, use his faith and say, here's why you're wrong. Here's why I disagree with it. But he did it in a way that was soft, that was loving, that was caring. Because Charlie knew, if I could bring them closer to God, they're automatically going to become conservative voters. Charlie was smart, and at 31 years old was wise, way beyond his years. And I just hope Turning Point can find somebody else that can fill that void. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.